I'm ready to move on from absolutely everyone, like literally everyone. I know a lot of Dolphins fans will sit here and say, hey, we're going to get Tua back next week. Being 3-3 would have been nice, but 2-4 is not the end of the world. If you can get on a little bit of a hot streak, make a run, you still have a chance for a playoff push. And I mean, maybe. I got in a little bit of a text debate with my dad. He thinks the Dolphins at most are going to win 4 or 5 games. I think they could win 7 or 8 just because Tua is an average quarterback, and the Dolphins defense has relatively held up over the last few weeks. I do think with an average quarterback, you can maybe sneak 7 or 8 wins, maybe a few more if you do get lucky, because the Dolphins defense has been fine. I should mention they only gave up 16 points today as the Dolphins win 10-16, 10 freaking points. After watching the Hurricanes yesterday and every weekend, you see Cam Ward put up 52 points yesterday versus Louisville. Going from that to this is just, I don't know. What is the worst possible word you could think of? Because that's what watching these Dolphins game is. 10 freaking points. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, they're put in bad positions. You're technically on your 4th-string quarterback, which the fact that you even got to this point with Tim Boyle trying to lead a game-winning drive is just the result of so many steps of incompetence happening consecutively over and over and over again. Because you look at a guy like Tim Boyle, the fact that he is even on a roster in a position to be on the field is insane. This man had more interceptions in college than touchdowns. As a senior at Eastern Kentucky, he had 13 picks to 11 touchdowns. How the hell is this man in the league? The best quarterback in this game today was probably Joe Flacco, who was sitting on the Colts bench. But yet the Dolphins are sitting here with Tua, who earlier I said with an average quarterback can win 7 to 8 games. Tua is an average quarterback, right? I'm saying the Dolphins could win 7 to 8 games. He is average. I know he led the league in passing last year, but the reality is he's great against bad teams, bad against good teams. That means that you're average. Now, I like Tua. I think he's a nice young guy, and I wish him the best, but they can't win a championship with this guy. They can't. Last couple years, I know they had, double-digit win seasons and made the playoffs, but this team is worse than those ones in the last few years. They're just so much worse. Of course, you lost Christian Wilkins. You lost a guy like Van Ginkel, who has more touchdowns this season than the Dolphins have in the last 2 weeks combined. And who did the Dolphins replace him with? First-round draft pick Chop Robinson, who can't even tackle a guy behind the line of scrimmage. They end up getting a first down. And then you'll have a lot of Dolphins fans. There's a lot of Dolphins fans making excuses right now. And I would say majority aren't. I would say majority are just as tired as I am. But that small faction of Dolphin fans you have making excuses is ridiculous. For Chop, they'll say, oh, well, he's just a rookie. Give him time. Listen, for a first-round pick, you're supposed to come and make an immediate impact. How many years did those same fans say, give Noah Igbenogany a chance? Give him a chance. Give him another chance. Never did nothing. Same thing with Chop Robinson now. Never going to do nothing because he sucks. If you draft the guy in the first round, he shouldn't be a wait-and-see guy unless it's a quarterback. For a defensive end, you should be able to make some plays. Not be off the field because you can't stop a run. You shouldn't draft the guy in the first round if he's that limited. And that's what they do with Chop Robinson. But that's just one of the dozens and dozens of mistakes that this team has made. And it all starts with Chris Grier. And I'm so ready to move on from him and Mike McDaniel. This guy is an idiot. Getting fooled, getting scammed out of a timeout that they maybe could have used to end the game. Obviously, the clock was up against him. Not that it matters. 4th and 2, Tim Boyle throws the ball 40 yards out of bounds. How the hell are you an NFL quarterback? You throw a ball 40 yards out of bounds, don't even give your receiver a chance. And this Mike McDaniel, the play calling, just idiotic. Can't convert a 3rd and 1. All of his tenure with the Dolphins can't convert it. Running these dumbass plays. You got 2 weapons like Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. I think they had almost as many targets as I did today. Seriously, today, Jalen Waddle finished today with, where is it at here? He finished today with 1 catch for 11 yards. Tyreek Hill, 1 catch for 8 yards. That's goddamn ridiculous with the kind of money you're paying these guys. I don't care if you got Tua under center or not. And don't get me started on finally our 3rd starting wide receiver is back, Odell Beckham Jr. I told you guys he was a bum when the Dolphins signed him, and he continues to be one. I got a little bit of notes of the order of operations in which the game took place today, so we'll go through those real quick, kind of give you guys a little bit of a recap here. So the Dolphins do start the game off with a touchdown drive. They do target Jonnu Smith second week in a row. He gets some pretty heavy targets. Tua seems to be a guy that doesn't look his tight end's direction at all. Tyler Huntley is a little bit. Today, Jonnu Smith finished with 7 catches for 96 yards. It is nice to see him in the passing game because there was a lot of optimism surrounding his ability to be a receiving threat. So it is nice that they use him 2 weeks in a row. But when Tua comes back next week, he'll go from 96 yards today to probably 0 catches next week, just so you guys know. But the Dolphins do go up 7-0. Colts drive the ensuing possession, but then our guy, Sealer, shout out to Brendan Tobin, Sealer it on up. My guy Sealer lands on the football, recovers the fumble as the Colts are driving. Absolute beast, Zach Sealer. I do like that guy. He deserves better. But then after that, it's just pre-snap penalties galore. Julian Hill, good God, is this one of the worst football players I've ever seen? Talk about guys that I can't fathom why the hell they're even on a roster. One of them is Julian Hill. Because at the tight end position, he doesn't block, he doesn't catch passes, and all he does is commit holding penalties. Why are you on the field? Why? How do you have so many pre-snap penalties as a team? That's coaching. That's being undisciplined. McDaniel should be fired on the spot for his inability to put a focused, disciplined group out there. He really should be. And they call him smart. He's an idiot. That same drive, it was 3rd and 18 for the Miami Dolphins. Mike McDaniel calls a timeout. Why? It's 3rd and 18. You're not going to convert. You're going to draw up some kind of play? Well, let me see. They threw a 3-yard pass pattern to Odell Beckham, who dropped it even, by the way. So McDaniel wasted timeout in the first half. 3rd and 18, runs a 3-yard pass pattern. Idiot. The Dolphins would exchange field goals with the Colts to end the first half, though. So they will go into the second half 10-7 with the ball. But later in the third quarter, Raheem fumbles. Would fumble. That's what I'm going to call him from now on. Raheem fumbles, because that's all he freaking does. He has some decent runs today. I'll give him some credit, and he did play very, very well last week. I like Raheem Mostert. Can't hold on to the ball. You got some other backs on the roster. Maybe it's time they start to move on from him too. I don't understand. The Colts would score off of that fumble to make it 10 up. And then Tyler Huntley would get hurt. He'd be diving out of bounds. He'd sustain a shoulder injury. He'd be ruled out for the rest of the game. Next possession, you got Alec Ingold. He fumbles this time. Now it's as the Dolphins are driving, so takes away points we could have had there. Probably wouldn't have been a touchdown, but could have been a field goal. That would have been nice there. But nope, Alec Ingold can't hold on to the ball. He fumbles on 1st and 10. Why the hell is Mike McDaniel running a fullback dive on 1st and 10? I can't explain it to you. Following possession, that's when Chop Robinson missed his tackle, gave up some yards to the Colts there. Colts start driving. They pretend like they're going to go for it on 4th down. Completely fools Mike McDaniel. Baited him into wasting a timeout because he's so unprepared. Anytime something is different, he's got to burn a timeout. Usually ends up doing nothing with it. Absolute bum Mike McDaniel is. But the Colts would end up get a field goal on the ensuing kickoff return. Braxton Berrios gets hurt. I forgot to mention, I think Storm Duck got hurt a little bit earlier. So now both those guys are hurt as well. But the Dolphins would drive the ball a little bit. It's 3rd and 1. The halfback dive, Alec Ingold doesn't get it. Dolphins don't get 3rd and 1s. So instead of going for it, Mike McDaniel decides to kick a 54-yard field goal with a fat cat kicker who can't kick. Of course, Jason Sanders misses it because he sucks. Earlier in the broadcast, they said he was the highest percentage Dolphins kicker ever. I was stunned when I heard that because he sucks. So, of course, Jason Sanders doinks it. The Colts would get a field goal to go up 16-10. Dolphins get the ball back. Only 1:50 to go with no timeouts because Mike McDaniel sucks. And Tim Boyle's got 1:50 to work with for a game-winning touchdown drive. On this possession, Tyreek Hill gets his first catch of the day. Doesn't matter. On 4th and 2, that drive, Tim Boyle throws the ball 40 yards out of bounds. And here we are. Do I even want to look at the box score? Is there anything else relevant to talk about with regards to today's game? Tyler Huntley, 87 passing yards, 7-13. This is our backup. And don't give me Skylar Thompson because he wasn't much better. He was worse. Actually, he was worse. That's the Dolphins' backup situation. Incompetent roster building. You got a guy like Tua, can't stay healthy. Let's not sign a backup quarterback. It's the most frustrating thing. The list of backups in this league that would have been infinitely better than what we have right now is astronomical. And if we would have got any one of those guys, we'd be sitting here at least at 3-3. which is a major difference today. I did like what Devon Achane brought today, 77 yards for him, and Jalen Wright only got you 5 carries, but he looked good, 6.6 yards a carry, 33 yards on 5 carries for him. He looked awesome today. And then your second leading receiver after Jonnu Smith was Alec Ingold. So do with that information what you will. I know Dolphins defense only gave up 16 points, but they continue to give up way too many yards against the rush. I believe today, where is it at here? I'm trying to find the team stats in there. How many rushing yards per play did they have? Yards per rush for the Colts was 4.2. That is way too much. Although the Dolphins did have 4.7. Makes you wonder why they didn't go to the run a little bit more. But anyways, that's all I got to say for this video. I might get a Heat video out right after this just to cleanse the palate. Want to talk about the final roster being set. So if y'all are interested in that, go check that out. Of course, Heat season starting up in a couple days. And I will be at Miami versus FSU this upcoming Saturday, I guess. So I won't have post games out immediately after that. But I'm hyped for that, baby. 7-0 coming back to Hard Rock Stadium versus that stinky FSU. It's going to be a good one. Maybe I'll film some content when I'm there. So stay tuned. Make sure y'all subscribe, like the video. All the support is greatly appreciated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, everyone.
Look, pull up in your city trying to get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.